You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Well, this is your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. Woo! And today, we got a returning guest. It's a big homie. He has a sequel from the last time he was on. The last time he was on, he had this book, right? Called Witchland. It was a graphic novel, and then it was also a play. My man just murdered, right? So now he got a sequel. It's called Snitchland. No, it does not involve 6ix9ine, I promise you. It's a fire book. My man is killing it, smashing it. We're going to find out all about it right now with the big boss himself from the world of the Mulligan verse, Mr. Tim Mulligan himself, baby. How you doing?
Hey, Al. I am great. Thank you. Thank you so much for that rousing introduction.
You're the big boss. You're a big shout out to Danny. You already got people excited over here, Tim, because of course from last time you were on, you had stuff going on. And for those that don't know, just a little introduction of yourself. Let them know where you're OG from, and the last time you were on was Witchland. So tell them a little bit about that too.
Yeah, great. So I'm based in California. I'm in San Diego, but I'm from Washington State. And so when I was on last, I was talking about a book and a play that I'd written called Witchland, like you said. And Witchland was, my intent there was to write a really scary, immersive play about my hometown, which happens to be the site of a nuclear reactor cleanup, where many people have unfortunately, succumbed to sickness over the years. And also tell the story of this witch that terrorized me all through high school, and this woman who we were told was a witch, and it just became an obsession for myself and my friends. So I put together a play called Witchland, and that play was an immersive, scary play. I tried to add some scariness to the live theater universe, and then the play continues to do well. It ran, in San Diego. It ran for a month in Palm Springs, and it just went to off-Broadway to New York in past April. Has a bunch of nice. Yeah, it's great. So it's done well. And so then I thought that it was such a I love comics so much, and I love graphic novels so much, that I just thought that that it would really lend itself well to a graphic novel format. So I hired an artist named Pyrink. He's out of Mexico City, actually. And and we worked really great together. And I converted the Witchland play into a Witchland graphic novel, which was released last February. So now I'm taking it a little several steps further. I've written a trilogy. It's called The World of Witchland.
And a trilogy. Wait. Before we get into those steps, let me ask you. So you created Witchland. You got this book, made a play. Now you said you created a trilogy, but when you first created Witchland, was that the original intent for you? Was it a one and done, or because of the success did you say, "Oh shit, hold on, maybe there's something more here"?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, I knew there's I'd never written a play or a graphic novel before, so my goal was just to get one done. This was like a COVID project of mine, so I was just pleased that I got Witchland done, and then. But then when I saw how people were responding to it, and really liked this family of characters, and they couldn't believe this real life, setting was a real place, that I just thought, well, I'm going to keep going. And so that's what prompted me to challenge myself and set out a trilogy. And I kind of wanted to do each one a little bit different. I knew I wanted Witchland to be scary and kind of funny, and be involved with a witch as kind of the antagonist there. But then I thought I would write a second one, which is the one that just came out yesterday, called Snitchland. And I thought I'd make that be more of a, I had in mind like a thriller, like a whistleblower type environmental thriller, like a China Syndrome or something of the things that I grew up with. And but instead of witches, I would have it be told with ghosts, a ghost story. I've always wanted to write my own ghost story. And then I thought the third one, which is coming out in February, is like balls to the wall, drugs and vampires and all out terror.
Oh,
So
shit.
so that's the idea.
All right, I love it. So this whole land. So all right, so talk to me about that. So you did the Witchland.
Yeah.
So how did Snitchland come into your mind, and is it the same creative team as Witchland?
Yeah, I mean the creative team is really me, and then I have a publisher, and I have my collaborator who's the artist, Pyring.
So
So
you're doing the same artist this time
yeah,
around.
same artist is doing all three.
Oh,
He's
beautiful.
the third one's about done now too. So, but I think that if you in the events of Witchland, I left Witchland kind of with a cliffhanger of what happened to this family, and I don't just real briefly what happens in Witchland is this couple, these two white guys, they're a same-sex couple, and their black teenage daughter moved to this town, which is very white, very non-diverse, and they're just fish out of waters in this town. One of them has a job working out at the nuclear plant, which is a real place. I worked out there back in the day,
Okay.
and right now it's a big cleanup of all these 52 million gallons of toxic waste that's buried in tanks. And really, he's working out there, and then there's a tunnel that collapses, which is based on a real thing that happened back in 2017. And he's there, one of the guys, and so he starts getting sick, and you don't know if he's sick because of exposure to nuclear radiation or toxic waste, or is it because there's a witch who might have cursed him living across the street. So the way Witchland ends, I won't give it all away, but it leaves it with an open-ended. But it was a perfect kind of setting for a sequel. And so in the sequel, I really did a ton of research on modern day whistleblowers and folks who bring safety complaints to the forefront. And so it's more of a thriller where this family has to go back and figure out why this workplace accident happened and how it could have been stopped if the employer had listened to the complaints. And then they're doing this whole mystery with the help of a bunch of ghosts of employees and people who've died in this area due to the
So wait,
nuclear radiation. So it's a ghost story.
so the ghosts of the whistleblowers in this instance.
The ghosts are helping solve. No, there's an actual whistleblower in the story, but the ghosts are there.
So all right, so when you were studying the whistleblowers, man, what was like one of the most interesting finds in that journey?
Well, I'm from this place, and I'm also during my day job as a human resources guy. So I've been around the workplace for a long time, but I did find a lot of research on there's hundreds of folks who have in the nuclear space, especially at this one plant, made complaints, and there's stories of some of them are pretty extreme, and I actually know of people who went through this where you bring there's so much money at stake there, and there's so much there's so much on the line, I think,
Yeah.
for that company. So they want to stop these complaints from happening. So whether it be, making the person seem like they're crazy, or maybe it means following the person, tapping your telephone line, maybe breaking into your house. I mean, there's a lot of stories out there. So I put all that into this one fictional account of what might have happened here.
So Tim, I gotta ask you before you keep moving on. Are you sure that your headset is not tapped right now?
I'm not sure. I mean, just to be honest, like back in the day, I remember I think back to like 20 years ago when I met with a friend of mine, whose parents had worked out there, and they met me in this secret park because I was a lawyer back in the day, and and so they met with me and all these documents, and it was very covert, and they said that they thought they knew some stuff about Hanford, and their phones were tapped, and they were paranoid, and I didn't believe them. I just thought that they were kind of crazy, and so now I've done all this research and read into it more, and there's just tons of these stories, so who knows what happened then, but I know what happens in my fictional story. So
love it. All right, so I'm gonna start bringing some imagery up because folks,
okay.
you know what it is. If Tim is here, you already heard that. You already got teased by the first part, so now it's time to get teased by the second part. That he just said it came out, and again, it's Christmas time, folks. It is holidays. That's it. Can you believe it? Halloween is upon us, and now it's gonna be Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and this is perfect gifts for the comic fan of your life. Yeah, I mean, a graphic novelist. I mean, this is the perfect thing. I mean, talk about look at Snitchland. Look at the look of this book, yo. Yo, I love that cover, man. Like, yo, the who's the cover artist? Because the way that they use the depth in this really looks 3D-ish for real. Beautiful, beautiful looking cover. I mean,
Thank you.
is it a hardcover? I mean, look at this shelf form, folks.
It's available in both. You can get it, right? I mean, it was hardcover at first. This is a hardcover you're seeing right here, but now you can get it in paperback or Kindle as well. The
Okay.
artist, I mean, I sent, I have an image for the, it was written as a play, but then I converted it to the graphic novel. I gave Pyrink, my artist, some ideas, and he came up with this great, this great artwork. So,
And then look at this one. You know, this is scary.
well, it's a ghost story, and so in the graphic novel, there's a lot of ghosts. So,
Yeah, I ain't trying to fuck around with this though. Like, I have a window like this. Like, why are you doing this to me right now? Like, I'm fucking like terrified right now. Like, yeah, I gotta get the curtain back up.
Well, it was I wanted to challenge myself to write a ghost story. I think that ghost stories I've always been intrigued by ghost movies with ghosts and books and TV, whatever it might be, and it seems like there's so much unknown about ghosts. Obviously, what are they able? Why are they there? What are they doing? What can they see? What can they do? Can they touch you? Can they move things? Does it fade off after some point? Why are they in this one area? Are they hot? Can they go everywhere? I mean, all these kind of things. I don't know what the answers are, but I tried to kind of put my own spin on it in Snitchland.
Is there a particular ghost story or ghost movie that maybe inspired you?
Oh God, I love ghost stories. One of my favorites. I love The Others with Nicole Kidman. I always think
Oh, great movie.
I've
Yeah.
watched that several times. I think that they did a really smart version of it that I like a lot. I would say when I set out to write Snitchland, if you ask what it's kind of inspired me, what it's like, I wanted to do something kind of, I mean, kind of with feeling and heart. So I look at Ghost the movie. So I think it's a cross between Ghost,
Okay.
where the ghost is helping this person solve this mystery, um, mixed with like a Aaron Brockovich like environmental thriller. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
that's what those are my inspirations for this story.
Oh,
Excuse me.
wonderful, man.
Yeah.
But again, so that was always your intention to have the spinoff. Like, honestly, like on this lane, I love that you go from one platform to another. So and again, you go
Yeah.
from a book to a play. Now, let me give you a ghost story. Like, did
Well,
you
I
think about like really creating the Mulligan verse? Was that a thing?
well I think that what I'm having fun with is keeping the same kind of group of characters together from adventure to mystery. So we've gone from witches, we've gone from to ghosts, and the next book is more of a vampire story of my own. So but all set at this scary real life setting of the nuclear reactor. I think the stories are unlimited of what can happen at this place. So yeah, so even at the end of each one, I kind of set up what might be in the future, and you'll see at the end of each story, there's kind of a preview of what the mystery to come is going to be. And so yeah, I don't know how long I'll keep going. I think this could lend itself to I've been trying to adapt it now to screenplays. It might make it to a movie setting. I'm not sure. We'll
Well,
see.
well, if you need actors, man, I got one credit. Help me get another credit, kiddo. I'm there for you. Let's go. I'm cheap. And let me tell you about. So let me ask you this. So, could you share maybe any challenges or surprises you faced in creating Snitchland, and how do these moments maybe help shape the final story?
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of challenges. I think one is in the graphic novel. The whole we hiring the artist and I went. Oh,
Look
there
at
we go. Yikes. Um, really
look
went
at
back and forth on how are ghosts going to look in print, and because you can't see them, so we try to come up with just the right mix of a world that's full of ghosts, and you'll see in the book. I think he captured it pretty well, and so that was a challenge. Like I said before, this I really went back and forth on a lot of kind of you know the mythology of ghosts, and and like what is a ghost wearing? Like is a ghost wearing a white sheet? Are they wearing what they wore when they died? Are they
Are
wearing
they wearing anything at all?
anything at all, or can they just, or does it matter? Just put them in an outfit. Who cares? So I went back and forth on a lot of that. Like, why can some ghosts, why do things fly across the room sometimes, or why can is there a point in time where maybe shortly after the person passes where they can make contact
Yo, don't
with
fuck
and then
around.
And
Yo,
then
bro, you fucking
yeah.
with me. Yo, Tim, stop fucking with me. Like, yo, tell me, like, in your journey of discovery here, to add these elements to the story. What was the freakiest story you found then?
Oh, well, some of the whistleblowing stories are very extreme, and there's allegations of whistleblowers being told that they're insane and they can't come back to work till they go to a psychiatrist, and so they kind of
What?
they spin there's
What?
there's
You're
this
fucking with me. That shit is crazy.
process of kind of making the person seem like they're crazy, all
Kanye.
the all the way to house break-ins, things like that. I mean,
Well,
that's for the whistleblowing part. I think if you look at Hanford and all the research I've done into this place, which by the way is my hometown, my family and friends live there. It's a beautiful place, but it does have this weird history. I mean, there's animals that have been radiated. There's toxic tumbleweeds that blow around. There's all sorts of crazy
toxic
stories.
tumbleweeds.
Oh yeah, they glow. So
Fucking
you
like,
know,
yo, that is a horror story in of itself. I mean,
I mean,
I'm
you
tired.
could
I want to see the movie The Toxic Tumbleweed.
you could go on and on. So and it goes back to over the decades. There's been a lot of sickness. Unfortunately, you get to some sad stories, but then also back in the day, there were a lot of animals who in the farmlands around there when the wind had taken some of this toxic chemicals and brought it downwind, and you'd see like kind of deformed farm animals running around and stuff, and all sorts of crazy stories. So it goes back for years, and it's which makes it be just ripe with stories.
Excellent. So talk about this particular book though. How many pages we getting, man? Like how long did it take you to develop this beautiful story? I mean, you said it's a trilogy, man. So after this, of course, I mean, again, we keeping the same team going into the third.
Yeah, I mean, not all of them make it. So but it's the same group of people. Sometimes some of them rise to the forefront, but it's the same group. Each book's about 90 to 100 pages. It's
Nice.
it's it's not a long read. It's and the pictures are gorgeous. My graphic designer is amazing. So and it took me I'd say about six
I mean,
months to write this one, and then takes my artist several months to kind of put it all together.
several months, great. But so I mean, all right, but so this book is available now. I mean, how excited are you, man? I mean, have you been looking up the reception, how it's been thus far?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I'm a one person show, so it seems like it's doing pretty well. I see the charts for a graphic novel. It seems to be okay. I think getting the word out there, like things like this, help. But I know that the people who do read it seem to really respond well and like it. I
This book
mean,
right here, folks. That book right there. You better get this right
yeah,
there.
it just came out yesterday, so it came out on October 29th. This one's brand new. Witchland came out in February. I would say, like you mentioned, the holidays. It is a fun. I did a book signing last night, and I was signing both books because
Oh, hey, really?
it
Where?
is,
Talk about
it.
that. Shout out to shop, man. Where were you at?
At a bar here in San Diego. We had a launch party, and it was very fun. And so, but you kind of want to read Witchland first and then Snitchland. So I was kind of signing both, but it is
Okay.
it is a fun read and a fun gift for people who like
Yo,
the dark stories, who like beautiful artwork in a graphic novel, like comics, like your viewers and
yeah, I
listeners.
love it. But Tim, let me ask you. So, based on what you just said, is it essential for our fans to read, Witchland before Snitchland, or can Snitchland stand on its own?
It can stand on its own. I carefully wrote it that way, so there's anything you need to know. Um, I tried to set up so you don't have to go back and read the whole thing. It helps. I mean, they do flow. There's a storyline there, but each one has a different mystery kind of. So you can jump right into Snitchland and be fine.
I love it. I love it. So, look into the future, right? Do you see Snitchland as the end of the universe, or or what's the next one outside of
Yeah.
Snitchland? The
So
next
the third book in this trilogy is called Twitchland, and
Witchland. Oh shit.
Twitch, like TWITCH, and
Got
like a bunch of Twitchers who are, and it's my version of I wanted to create my version of a vampire story, and um,
Oh,
so I tied it to there's a drug problem in this area that I'm writing about, and so of course I threw in some toxic waste into it, and so then you create a really harsh drug that creates some freaked out zombie like people like
oh
vampires. So
shit.
so the next one's really, like I said, really really scary, crazy. And it's my version of a vampire, though it's not really a vampire, almost like a crazed uh, drug community. So it's gonna
Oh,
be fun. And
oh my. I'm
all that all that at
coming.
a nuclear plant. Yeah,
I hope this is coming from personal experience. My God, the way you're talking here, this is crazy. I love
I've
it.
been around. Yeah.
I mean, yes, I smoke. I have my fun. I mean, I have those bars, chocolate bars. They're fantastic. Anyway,
Well, you don't ingest toxic waste, so that's good.
I don't. I mean, I'm also not from Jersey, so if I did, I would turn to the Toxic Avenger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, Tim, you're so much fun to hang out with, man. I mean, like, and then all these stories, building the trilogy, man. Like, how much fun as a creator are you having, with this?
I love it. I mean, I've been a fan of the horror genre forever. I always thought that where I'm from was should be written about. There's all sorts of stories. Like you look at like Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer made this big splash. It was an awesome movie, big epic about nuclear reactors and the Manhattan Project, but it's told in a very very serious historical perspective.
Yeah,
So it's like, what if you take that and just make it be crazy? Have crazy shit happening all around these nuclear
yes,
reactors. And
please.
that's my goal. So I'm just writing a fun project about my hometown, which happens to be leaking nuclear waste, into the ground. So
Let that manifest such things, but in these stories that he's building, those books are fire, folks. So you want to be entertained again. Christmas is around the corner, and there's around this time I love like having return guests like this that are continuing stories because now you can get them part one, part two, and when they fall in love with it, now they can get part three on their own because they're gonna need it, and then you can tell them like, yo, did you get the third part is out, and then you push them. You see how fun it is to generate all that revenue and keep pushing people forward to celebrate the fandom. Like, please, folks, celebrate indie creators like Tim Mulligan. Right, the Mulligan verse is real. It's a real deal. Like, yeah, yo, my homie ain't fucking around. Like, fun shit. Let me show you again, folks. How sexy. Let me show you one more time. Looking for us, that hardcover. That is self porn, mi gente. ¿Tú me entiendes? All right. You
and
speak.
check out that tagline. That was one of the reviews of Snitchland. That I loved was that sentence you see there,
Oh,
where it's a
Chernobyl
mix of
means.
Chernobyl makes a haunting of Hill House. That's kind of a perfect
Oh shit,
synopsis.
bro, bro, that's fucking sick, actually. And then you see this. I mean, yeah, yo, how creepy is that? Have a window like that, kind of fucking freaking me out, to be honest. And then you got this. I mean, then you see this, like, yo, oh my effing god. Yeah, listen, it's for Halloween. It's perfect, but it's also again great for Christmas. Tim Mulligan is bringing you guys something that is just amazing. It is fire. It is the real deal. Tim is bringing us the universe of fun now. You say you want so okay. The first one you turn into a play. This one you say maybe you want to do TV or something else rather than a play on
I
this
mean,
one.
I wrote. I mean, all three of them are written and done as plays. I've then also converted each one into a screenplay. They could be filmed, and then I converted them all to a graphic novel. So I've kind of created
Oh,
unique trifecta of plays, screen, filmed or graphic
yeah.
novel.
Wait a minute, Tim. Wait a minute. I know there'll be people interested in this. We'll talk about that journey then. How different is it, in the spectrum of writing to split it into those three different types of
Yeah.
platform genres, if you will.
Well, it was a journey. I think that starting off as a play, just I like an immersive live theater where, especially when we were scared, almost like a haunted house for grown-ups. But you think of it being in a dark theater with a bunch of grown-ups watching actors, but you're just on edge because things are happening all around you. That was my goal. So writing it as a play, I had to really think about what could happen on a stage, and I do, you're kind of limited on how many, how elaborate the set's going to be and all that, and effects, things like that. The graphic novel was a great way for me to kind of take that story and get it to a wider audience and blow it out there, and so I could get creative with locations and effects. The scripts, the screenplays for either a TV or film like version was the hardest part for me. I've never done that before, so I've kind of had to I've had to kind of teach myself just the formatting for theatrical versus filmed versus a graphic novel. A graphic novel is a whole nother ball game. So I've really wanted to push myself in different directions with this trilogy, and that was my goal. So
how different is that narrative than going from a play to a comic, then to the movie? You said that it's so different. So how different is it though when you're trying to do, in a film version?
Yeah, I mean the graphic novel was fun because then if you have a script, that's why I like to start with the script of, say, a play or a TV show or something, or pilot, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Once you have the words and the story, then you just start plugging it into graphic novel format and thinking of, I looked at some of the best graphic novels that are out there and how they do it, and many pictures don't have any words at all, and some have a few words, and some of the pictures are blown up full page and some are half page. And so I had to really kind of get creative, like what's going to be in every single one of these hundreds of frames of the story. And that's a fun project. I think most challenging for me was probably the screenplay, because it's not my wheelhouse as much, but I did think it was interesting. And you could take the script version of a play, and you could get more creative, obviously, with locations, and you could have more actors on the set, you could have more in a scene, you could have get creative with your locations and so forth. So it's all, as long as I had the same story and the same kind of humor and tone and characters, then I have found a way to kind of make it fit for each of these different mediums,
But that, I mean, I heard. I can't imagine. That must be insane. But again, thank you though, because again, sharing your creativity and being able to do all these formats. Again, if you ever get an actor, I'm here. Any Crusaders out there, you better start shouting him out. You're going to be in the movies when they start popping. I'm telling you.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, but not hope so. We will. Come on, baby. Let's make it happen. Yeah. No, Tiffany, I love having you back. I appreciate the energy. I love that you keep going. You got even more story coming, man. Like now, just the final two questions here. Like, have you done any conventions, due to the book, and anything coming up?
Yes, I did. I did my first convention in September. I did HorrorCon in Los Angeles.
Oh, fire! How was that?
It was great. I signed books for Witchland, and I kind of teased the artwork from Snitchland. And then I did a panel. I did a presentation on the whole trilogy.
Oh, fire!
In front of a live audience, and it went great. People ate it up and loved it. So and I made a lot of good contacts, and that was really fun. So I hope to do more of those in the future.
Excellent.
And then coming up next, you asked what was next. It's obviously the trilogy. I mean, Snitchland is now out. You can get it anywhere: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, wherever you want. And then the third one in the trilogy will come out in February, and then those are all out. And I also have a new play. I wrote I've tried to write this world's scariest play, and it's called Point Loma. And it's now it's going off Broadway in New York. It'll be in May and June. It'll be playing in New York. So more to come on that one. Yeah.
Oh, let me know. I would love to fucking.
I'll send it to you. Yeah, we're announcing it in a few weeks. So it's all booked. It's going to be playing at the same theater that did Witchland this past April, the Chain Theater in New York City.
Let me know for May. Yeah, I would love to go to New York in May. Let me know, man.
I tried to write the quintessential haunted house play, where everyone in the audience will hopefully be scared shitless, So.
Oh, let's go! Hell yeah! I wear a diaper. Don't you worry, Tim. I promise.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a great time to have a Depends sponsorship. Depends, you heard? Let's go.
Oh, that's a great idea.
The pens help us over here. Let's go. Hey, Tim, you're the man. I appreciate it. Now that you've gone from Witchland to Snitchland, and you got the next one coming up, like doing your business, building this wonderful universe in the Mulligan verse, baby. Like, what type of advice would you give now to folks out there? Based on the journey you've had thus far.
What advice would I give?
Yeah.
Well, I think the main advice, I mean, I'm not young, so for I think the main advice is if you've ever had a thought of doing something creative and you just have put it off, then I think I'm a good testament to say at age 55, you can start over and start this new phase of your life and career. I had not done any of that until my mid 50s. And so now I have this whole new world that's just opened up. So some advice I think is just to find a way to make it happen and get it done. When I wrote Witchland, my goal was just to finish it. I didn't think anybody would ever see it. But then through tenacity and creativity, I just kind of got it out there, and through doggedness, and I continued to do that. So I think my first advice is to don't shrug it off as it's never going to happen. You got to kind of manifest it yourself and make it happen. And it doesn't matter if you work full time, if you're a parent, if you what you don't think you have the talent for it. You got to really push yourself and see what creative things come out of that.
Yes, sir. What Timmy said is the absolute truth. Just get it done, folks. Just work. No excuse. Make the time. The time is there. You have it. If it takes you sacrificing an hour or two of sleep, just do it. I mean, I'm 49. My man is in his mid-50s, and look at us. We're doing our thing. You look mad young, Tim. Don't you worry about it. You're still like
I work full time. So I to your point about an hour or two, it makes me get up early, and I do it before I go to work. I write some, and then I write some on the weekends, and you fit it in your schedule,
That's all. Look at that. Is that listen? When I get up an hour early before I gotta start my shift, and the first thing I do is 30 minutes of updating content on my website.
There you go.
The things are taken care of before I start my shift, but and schedule things until I'm off, and then great. When I'm off, I continue and doesn't interfere with my job. And that's all, folks. Make the time. It's there. You can do it. Like, there's no excuse. Everybody could make it. You could do it. I mean, just do it. Por favor. Anyway, Tim, thank you for your energy, bro. You inspire me, bro. Let me tell you, I love what you're doing. It's like so much fun. I love seeing my people just keep moving forward and just expanding what they're doing. Like, yo, Tim, virtual high five, bang, bang, bang. Yo, bro, like for real, you're doing it. You keep doing it. This is your home. Mi gente, you better follow Tim now. Listen, I've been showing this off. This is what you got to do. Show some love. Check out the website at witchlandplay.com. Very easy. Then you can follow him also on Instagram and Facebook at witchlandplay. You heard? So show the love. I mean, you anything else? Talk to me.
I think those websites and social. I cover Witchland, Snitchland, Twitchland, the play, books, graphic novels. It's all there.
Everything. So again, it's right there, but it's also in the show notes because I make it easy. You know how I do, folks. So click away. Show love for independent creators and amazing creators like Tim Mulligan. Let me tell you, this man doing some fire shit. And listen. These are all going to be movies eventually. So, if you're actors out there, you better start getting, your swag on and be like, all right, Tim, I'm trying out. Let's go. We're going to do it. We're going to do this. We're going to be part of the Mulligan verse of movies. the next big franchise is coming, baby, through him. Right? Right?
It'd be nice. That's the dream. Thank you.
We're manifesting. Let's go, bro. It's happening. Let's go. That's what I mean. To show that, and of course, you know what else you gotta do? Most importantly, follow comiccrusaders.shop. Follow us everywhere as the Comic Crusaders, all over the world on the platform, with the exception of YouTube. It's Comic Crusaders World, because guess what? I have my extended family there, and I show them love, and we talk about everything. So please follow us, show the support, and just follow us. That's all I need you guys to do. Just show us some love, because we support independent creators. We support amazing people like Tim. But man, like these guys are what is the future of creation. These guys are bringing us the new stuff, the next big thing. So thank you, Tim, for sharing it and your creativity with us. That's very, very, very important. And I definitely, as a fan, appreciate that.
Thanks, Al. I appreciate that.
All right, so Tim, bro, thank you, folks. You know what it is. I always told you, but all the links are below. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. You know what it is. Huepa!
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.